Hola a toda nuestra hermosa comunidad latina de este bello estado de Colorado. Ustedes ya me conocen, soy Fedra Álvarez, mi esposo Ricardo Novelo, Richard Villadiego y Nicole Polanco no pudieron estar aquí presentes, pero tenemos el honor y el gusto de estar con una persona muy importante, muy sincera, muy honesta y muy directa para la comunidad latina. Y este mensaje es para toda la comunidad latina de este bello estado de Colorado. Quiero que ustedes allá en casita se sientan seguros, se sientan informados. El mensaje va a ser en inglés, pero al final vamos a hacer como un pequeño recap con subtítulos de lo que está pasando abajo del sheriff de El Paso para que ustedes entiendan la conversación y el nivel de preguntas que le estamos haciendo. Bueno, vamos a empezar y a toda mi hermosa comunidad latina les mandamos un saludo, un fuerte abrazo y comencemos. Sheriff Roybal. Is it Sheriff Roybal? Or I want to say Roybal. I don't know why. Because I'm Hispanic, right? But how do you spell or how do you pronounce your name?
Here I spell or pronounce it Roybal. That's
Roybal?
growing up here, born and raised.
Awesome.
That's how I know.
Okay, perfect. Because I don't want to make a mistake. I want to ask you how a little bit about your background. I know you're Hispanic, but can you tell us just a little bit in a few sentences, a little bit about you?
Yes, thank you. I appreciate you having me here today, sharing this important information on a very serious topic. But a little bit about me. I was born and raised here in Colorado Springs, so I am a native. My parents, my wife's parents come from, my mom's parents come from San Antonio.
Nice.
And my father's side comes from southern Colorado. But born and raised here in Colorado Springs, I've been here my entire life.
Awesome.
So it was a real honor for me, being a native, to be the first Latino sheriff elected to El Paso County. So I'm the 29th sheriff, and this is my home, and that's why I'm passionate about taking care of the people here and taking care of my home, because it's where I raise my family, it's where we will raise future generations of Roybal.
Absolutely, and I love it because he's Latino, like he said, and for my Latino young community out there, it's just, I hope you guys listen to this message clearly. It's going to be transparent, and everything we're going to share here is for you guys out there. So my first question, Sheriff, for our audience who may not be familiar, could you briefly explain the primary role of El Paso County Sheriff's Office and how it's different from a local police departments?
Yeah, the sheriffs in Colorado are very different from police agencies. We have far more responsibilities, one including law enforcement and safety of the community like every police agency. But we also have civil service, civil process, where we serve evictions, which is not a very popular thing, but that falls under our responsibility. Extraditions, where we go and we transport prisoners from across the country, across the state, and bring them back here locally so they can face trial.
Okay.
We also do concealed handgun program, where we issue permits for people to carry their firearms concealed. And probably more importantly, we operate the jail. And in every county there is one jail. Like City of Colorado Springs, they do not have a jail. When they arrest somebody, they bring them to the El Paso County Jail. Fountain, when they arrest somebody, they come to the El Paso County Jail. So that is probably the largest responsibility as far as providing services to our community, has to be the jail. Within that jail, we're responsible for protecting and ensuring the constitutional rights of all citizens are protected. Nice. Can you imagine, we've already taken, in my opinion, the most precious right, and that's the right of freedom here in America. And we've already taken that from them, so they're in jail, they're not free to go. So it's important for me to protect their rights, their health, their welfare, their mental health, their physical health. We provide laundry services, we provide food, dental. It's really a city within a city.
Yeah.
That is a huge responsibility for the sheriff and for me.
This is awesome. I want to share something. I want to make a parenthesis. I want to tell you guys that the sheriff is such an amazing person. He's nice, he's humble, he's here for the people of Colorado Springs and El Paso. So please pay attention of what you're listening out there and listen to what we're asking here today. So my second question, and it's a question that maybe every Hispanic family is asking themselves out there. Your department has maintained a strong cooperation with the federal immigration authorities, especially the ICE authorities, right? What would you see as the benefits of this partnership for public safety in El Paso County? I guess that you're working together with, not I guess, you guys are working with ICE, right? But how is that, helping us, or how is it that you guys are partnering up with them? Can you explain us a little bit?
Absolutely. Excuse me. As sheriff, I have partnerships with every federal agency out there, ATF, DEA, ICE. Now, the state of Colorado has limited local law enforcement and government agencies' ability to work with ICE. And in recent years, I've been a strong proponent of that, working with ICE. Because here's the issue. As sheriff, I'm responsible to protect the citizens here of El Paso County. And by restricting my ability to work with ICE, in fact, it restricts my ability to keep the community safe. And there's a lot of pressure from political parties. I won't get into politics as far as naming or identifying different political factions.
Yes.
But it has been turned into a political issue, and it's really not. I look at working with ICE as a public safety issue.
Yeah.
It's not about politics. It's not about, especially federal politics, it's about local safety.
Yeah.
And that's the message that I tell the legislature. They just don't listen to me. Yeah. My ability to work with ICE is key to keeping my community safe. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and it's this misinformation that is spreading fear throughout my community, fear throughout the state, and really throughout the country.
Absolutely.
Whether it's the media, whether it's political agendas, they're breeding fear into communities, specifically, I will say, the Latino and the Hispanic communities. Yeah. I've heard the lies that, well, the police and the sheriff, they're going to go and they're going into the schools, and they're going to break families apart, and they're going to rip the children out of the arms of the parents. Those are lies, and I want you to hear it directly from me. Those are lies. For whatever reason, they're being told to really make people afraid of law enforcement. That goes against keeping our community safe.
Absolutely.
And I'll go on later to talk about why working with ICE is so important in keeping my community safe.
So I want to make sure that my Hispanic community, and that's why every time I ask a question, I want to leave a message, and we'll put the subtitles in Spanish so you guys understand. It's about making the community safe, to being safe out there. Again, all this misinformation that's out there, it's affecting us. And you guys have to remember that fear is not going to take us anywhere. So by the sheriff telling you personally that you shouldn't be afraid, that, whatever you're hearing out there are lies, it gives you a little bit of, more information that you shouldn't be worried, and you should maybe investigate a little bit more what's going on and not listen too much of the media outlets or the media news that are out there that are not helping us. So please do not be afraid, my Hispanic community. So third question, many other counties in Colorado have chosen not to collaborate with ICE. What makes your department approach different, and what do you say to critics who argue this policy may damage community trust or lead to racial profiling?
Great question, thank you.
I know, it's so hard to read because I speak Spanish only.
I find it very ironic that I've been called racist.
Yeah.
The first Latino elected to El Paso County Sheriff, racist is absurd.
Yeah.
The police agencies or the communities who have chosen not to work with ICE have really fallen victim of that political pressure. I am responsible for the people, not a political agenda.
Yeah.
If the certain political party says don't work with them, don't work with ICE, and that chief or that sheriff doesn't work with ICE, they're listening to a political agenda.
They're choosing a side.
Not their people. They are absolutely choosing side, and they're not choosing people. This is my home. I'm elected by the people. I'm accountable to the people. I have no one boss. I don't answer to the mayor. I don't answer to the commissioners. I'm an elected official of my own. Who do I answer for? Who am I responsible to? The people of El Paso County. Here's the key of working with ICE. I'll give you a real example. This isn't a made-up story. This isn't a what if. A few years ago, I testified in front of the legislature. We had a gentleman, I use that term loosely, accused of sexually assaulting 3 girls. 3 girls, all under the age of 10. Now let's be real here. He sexually raped 3 girls.
Yeah.
My investigations unit did a phenomenal job. Identified the suspect. The suspect was known to the victims. Got enough probable cause, had a warrant signed by the judge, and made an arrest. Great job. That's part of it.
Yeah.
So we got that perpetrator off the
He's got
street.
that criminal. Yeah.
We got him off the street, put him in jail. Knowing that he could post bond, I would love to work with ICE and have ICE put a hold on that person.
Yeah.
But they're not allowed to. So this person posted bond, was released from jail. Now here is what I've started to do with ICE. If they are going to be released, I contact ICE a couple hours ahead of time. Here in the state of Colorado, we have 6 hours to release somebody.
Okay.
We can't hold them beyond. Once they post bond or they've served their sentence, 6 hours and they must be released.
Okay.
And I will comply with the law. So we notify ICE ahead of time, say, hey, this person is being released. If ICE can get a detainer, they will come and pick that person up and I don't release them to the streets. Here's why that's important. That person who posted bond is now out in the community. He missed his court date. Where is he right now? We don't know. He could be here, he could be in another country, but I'll tell you one thing, he's raping other kids.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's my passion. I want to be able to work with ICE to keep them detained, either in my jail, which I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't detain them in my jail, or have ICE put them in one of their facilities.
Isn't that, I want to say, it makes me afraid. That makes me afraid, you know, because I have a 9-year-old, right? Mm-hmm. So there are type of criminals out there that they're detained and then they're released. That's scary. It's scary as a mom, it's scary as a parent. So the sheriff is doing his job, you know, and we should let him do his job. That's what he's here to do, to protect the community. And like he said, no sheriff, no police, no anybody that's here to help the public or the people should pick a side. You shouldn't be from this, the left, the right, the middle. You shouldn't. You should just do what's right for the people. That's it. Great question, but the fourth question now, and we're skipping to this one, but going straight to this one. If the Colorado Legislative Assembly of the Governor Polis were to push for restrictions on cooperating with ICE, how will you respond and what message would you like to send the Colorado legislator and Polis regarding local autonomy in the law enforcement? Sorry.
Thank you. Currently, there's a bill that will be heard this Friday at the Capitol where restricts my ability to work with ICE even further. My limited ability that I have now, there are some things I can do. I can't keep them in my jail when people aren't here under illegal immigration status. If they post bond or the sentence is done, I have to release them.
Yep.
I'm not even asking for that anymore. I am fighting just to maintain the very little rights and ability I have currently to work with ICE.
Yeah.
The legislature is trying to strip that away where I can't even contact ICE. I can't let ICE come into my facility and safely transfer somebody to ICE. What happened in Denver, a perfect example of what happened in Denver 5-6 weeks ago, where they let somebody out and there was a fight in the parking lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where people were injured. What risk are we putting our community in by doing that? Having to go to the parking lot, and if they have somebody come with firearms, there could be more casualties, more victims by doing that. The ability to transfer those people safely in the jail benefits everybody. It keeps our community safe, it keeps the suspects safe, and it keeps law enforcement safe.
Yeah.
Because we know there are no weapons involved. It's going to be handled safely in a secured area, not out in the general public. But right now, there's a legislation being proposed which would prevent me from even doing that. So I am fighting just to keep the limited ability to work with ICE that I have. And so I'm asking the public, the community out there that's afraid of law enforcement, I am reaching out to begin that trust, to begin that relationship building process that I feel is important.
Yeah.
To the community that I have sworn to protect, reaching out to you all. You should not be afraid to call the sheriff's office. You should not be afraid to call me. We want to keep the community safe.
Guys, please understand. It's just, to me, it's very important as a Hispanic, person and that grew up here, and we were afraid of the cops and immigration and all that stuff because they teach you to be afraid. But if you're doing everything right, if you're a good person, you're not getting in trouble, you are here to work and just focus on what you're doing, everything's going to be fine. The community has to understand that the sheriff and the police, they're here to protect us. They're here to keep us safe. They're here to make sure that we can walk outside thinking that everything, thinking that everything's gonna be fine and not be afraid to go to the store or not be afraid to send our teenagers out there or our kids to school. So I want to tell you that I'm sitting right next to him, and we only bring people to our podcast that we truly trust, that we truly think that care for the community, and he's one of them. I can tell you that we have to support him, we have to support his office and everybody that works here, because without them, where would all as a community be right now? So let's keep supporting the sheriff. And
if I may.
Yeah.
Excuse me. 2 weeks ago, we made an arrest. There was a murder, a shooting, and it involved 4 people, 2 witnesses, a victim, and a suspect. All 4 are undocumented immigrants here in our country. Now, the media, a certain political party would lead you to believe that I would go in and I would arrest everybody.
Yeah, of course.
Here's what the victim died, so we have a murder.
Yeah.
We have a suspect and we have 2 witnesses.
Yeah.
So 3 people remaining here in El Paso County undocumented.
Wow.
My deputies went out, my detectives went out, worked the case, kind of probable cause. We made an arrest. The person we arrested is the suspect. The person we believe fired the weapon and killed somebody.
Wow.
The 2 witnesses, they're out living their lives. We didn't arrest them on an ICE hold. That's illegal. Mm-hmm. They're going to, there's certain political parties going to say that I'm doing stuff illegal. No. Mm-hmm. The witnesses who helped us solve this crime are out there in the community. What happens now if we didn't arrest that suspect?
Exactly.
If we left that suspect on the street to threaten and maybe kill
the other 2? Yeah.
They were all together at the time, and there were threats.
Yeah.
But now, the legislature wants to take my ability away, or my ability to work with ICE, and maybe once that person posts bond, to detain them through ICE.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm asking for, and that's what I'm fighting for.
Yeah.
So there's an example of
That's
the
a clear
lies that are
example.
being told. We're not going out, we're not doing roundups, we're asking for help to keep our community safe and take criminals off the streets. Yeah. And we need, and I need, the Hispanic, Latino community to reach out to the legislature.
Yeah.
Because right now you'll have a handful of cops going up there, me included, and testifying from the legislature, and you'll have the room filled with Hispanic people that the other side got.
Yeah.
Say, no, we're afraid to go out in the street, out in the community, we're going to be deported. It's a lie. Yeah. So I need people to support law enforcement, support me, and say, no, you need to allow our sheriff to continue and keep us safe.
Yeah. See, the thing is with our Hispanic community, it's like this, right? We trust, we believe, right? We listen, we hear, but we don't hear the full story because they don't want us to listen to the full story, right? I'm sitting right next to the sheriff, and he's telling the full story, right? If we had more people, more politicians, and I don't want to get into it, that will say the truth and just tell us the truth. That's it. That's all we're asking as a community, because it keeps us afraid, and we don't want to be afraid. So if you want to not be afraid and support your police, support the sheriff. That's why we're in this country. That's why we immigrated from our countries to be in a better place. But if we're gonna make this a worse place at where we're coming from, then what is the future for our kids, for our grandkids, or for us? So please, 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 my Hispanic community, support the sheriff, support El Paso police officers, and they're here to help us and keep us safe. So I'm gonna go to the 5th question. And I wanna apologize because my English it's okay, it's not that best.
It's a lot better than my Spanish, I assure you.
Oh man, so it's really bad. Just kidding. So 5th question and last question, so we can go. You've got a long career in the law enforcement. Is there a surprising or memorable experience, perhaps that shaped you, your perspective on the immigration or public service, that you were willing to share with our readers and our viewers out there?
Absolutely.
Yes, and this is a fun question. So I'm sorry, Nick. Well, no, actually, you should be happy because it's in English.
Right. I wouldn't even attempt this in Spanish. So in my opinion, public trust begins with being relatable,
Absolutely.
being accessible. And I try to get out to the community. I speak to many different groups, and to be accessible. But here's my relatable piece. I started off by saying I was born and raised here in Colorado Springs. Now, I was a deputy sheriff, started my career in 1995. I worked my way up to the ranks. I was a deputy who worked out of the jail, and my shift was early, so at 3:30 in the morning, I was driving down a certain street, which is in one of the not so great neighborhoods. I mean, we all know where the jail is on Las Vegas Street.
It's not Campton for sure.
And I had an older pickup truck,
Okay.
nothing fancy, and I was stopped by the police.
Oh, wow.
I was pulled over, and I'm in uniform, and it's in the middle of the morning. It's very late, or it's very dark. They drive up and pull up next to me, and once they approach me and see I'm in uniform, they said, "Oh, no worries, just go about your day." I say, "I'm on my way to work." "Oh yeah, go ahead." Okay, I thought nothing of it. About a month later, near the same area, I was pulled over again. I didn't run a red light. I wasn't speeding. They pulled me over. The cop comes up, and he says, "Oh, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm on my way to work to the jail." "Oh, you're good." I said, "No, why did you pull me over?"
Yeah.
They used the reason, the probable cause, that they couldn't read my license plate.
Oh, okay.
I said, "Oh, is the light out?" "No, the light's out. I just couldn't read it." Okay. Went on my way to work. A couple months later, in the same area, a 3rd time, I was pulled over by the police.
Okay.
And now I'm furious.
Yeah, of course.
I'm experiencing, and I have experienced, what the community is most critical of law enforcement. Pulled up this time, I didn't wait for them to walk up alongside me. I committed the cardinal sin of being pulled over. I got out of my vehicle.
Yeah.
I'm in uniform,
Yeah.
so I felt, okay, I'm fairly safe. But I got out, and I met the cop at the end of my truck. He said, "Oh, you didn't have to get out." I said, "Let me guess, you pulled me over because you couldn't read my license plate."
Yeah.
He says, I said, "That's the reason." And I pointed at the plate. I said, "You see right there? It's lit. You can read it."
Yeah.
And I swore, I said, "I don't want to hear this excuse
Yeah.
that you couldn't read my plate.
Yeah.
I know why you pulled me over.
Yeah.
You saw a Hispanic man in an old pickup truck
Yeah.
in the early hours of the morning driving.
Yeah.
If this happens again, I will go public,
Yeah.
and I will go to your chief personally, because this isn't right."
Yeah.
And I'm making it clean for your podcast. I was about
Yeah.
to say another word there,
Yeah.
but I didn't. So I come from a place where I can relate.
Yes. Absolutely.
Growing up here, I don't speak Spanish
Yeah.
because it was frowned upon, and
Yeah.
my
Oh, it
parents
was.
didn't teach me.
It was. Yes.
I grew up in the '80s where, English only. That's all. That's my language. I
Yeah.
was born here in the United States. I speak English.
Yeah.
I can relate to people who maybe are fearful of police, like, well, we're
Yeah.
profiled. My office, my deputies do not do that.
Yeah.
They know how passionate I am. We serve the public, we serve the community. You have a sheriff who has experienced maybe some of the things that your viewers
Yeah.
have experienced.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I want to give a clear example too. I feel like this is why our Hispanic community is so afraid, because they think that because they're Hispanic, they're dark skin, they're going to be the target of immigration and ICE or the police or whatever. No, I think that we have changed, we have evolved, and having you as a sheriff, that makes more of a difference, because you're here for our Hispanic community, not only our Hispanic community, to every community, white, Hispanic, African Americans, Asians, you name it, right? And I want to say it clear, because I am Mexican. I was born in Mexico, I was raised in Mexico, but I have light skin, right? But when I speak English, they already know I'm either Mexican or Russian, right? But it's just the thing that, the stereotype, right, of that thinking that the police is going to stop you just because the way you look. No, they're here doing their job. They're just stopping people that are criminals. There are people that are actually doing bad things, and they're not here to help our community, or they're here just to damage whatever safety we have left. Because honestly, if we don't fight, then what we have left, you're going to be afraid of going to your house, you're going to be afraid to go to the store, you're going to be afraid to go anywhere, right? Or how other people do it, and I've seen it, well, this neighborhood is really bad, so I'm just going to move to this neighborhood because it's better than this neighborhood. So what we're going to be doing is immigrating from one neighborhood to another neighborhood because this one's bad. And what they're trying to do, the sheriff and the police, is trying to make every neighborhood, everybody safe, so you don't have to move from neighborhood to neighborhood just because you don't feel safe anymore. So I want to say thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Seriously, I want to encourage my people out there to follow him, to like the sheriffs, to like the police officers. They're here for us. They're here to protect us. And like he said, he's not going to pick a side of political situations, whether you're from the left or right, the middle. No, he's here for the people. And I'm also here for the people. This is why we don't get into politics, because I'm here just to inform my Hispanic community out there. Any message that you want to give our community, our young people out there?
Yes. I don't want to mislead anybody.
Yes.
The criminals that I do arrest that are here undocumented, I absolutely contact ICE.
Perfect.
And I encourage them being deported back to their native country. It's not always Mexico.
Yeah.
There's several
With Salvador,
countries.
Honduras.
We don't want the criminal element here victimizing our community. And I encourage everybody, there's a Clint Eastwood movie that's great that explains this, and I've even testified to legislature. It's a movie, and I don't get any royalties.
No, we don't either, but you can share it. We'll watch it.
It's a great movie, and it's called Gran Torino.
Oh, Gran Torino.
And Hollywood got it right.
Nice. For the first
Hollywood
time.
doesn't do much right,
For
but
the
they
first
did
time.
right. It explains how immigrant communities here in the U.S. are afraid to contact law enforcement, so they're re-victimized again and again and again by gangs and the criminal element within their own communities.
Wow.
Please go watch that story. That is what's happening here in Colorado. You'll have politicians saying we don't have a problem here. We do have a problem here. Yeah. And that movie got it right. I don't want communities to be afraid to call the sheriff's office and continue to be a victim. Yeah. What happens if you don't call the police? Your teenage sons are recruited into gangs and they become drug runners. Your teenage daughters are recruited by the gangs and used and trafficked. Do not be afraid to call law enforcement. Refuse to be a victim. Tell the legislature we refuse to be a victim no matter what community we are in, and you need to allow our sheriff to work with ICE to help us not be victims.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm going to finish in Spanish real quick. Quiero darle las gracias al sheriff por habernos dado la oportunidad de haber compartido con él este momento tan especial. De verdad, yo solamente estoy siendo una advocator o una persona que viene a contarles un poquito de lo que está haciendo la ciudad para su protección allá afuera, para que no tengan miedo. Lo hablábamos hace poquito con una abogada de inmigración también muy querida para mí, que si usted está haciendo bien las cosas, si usted está portándose bien, no está haciendo ninguna cosa mala allá afuera, no tiene que temer. Ellos solamente realmente están arrestando a criminales que están haciendo cosas malas, y sean o no sean inmigrantes, ellos tienen que hacer su trabajo, y claro que tienen que colaborar con ICE por si es una persona peligrosa, que está violando, que está golpeando, que está matando a gente, y lamentablemente por azares del destino es inmigrante, lo tienen que deportar porque es un criminal, no lo podemos detener. De igual forma, si estuviéramos en México, en El Salvador, en Honduras, donde estuviéramos, si hay un criminal, lo lógico es que se vaya a la cárcel ese criminal. Es lo lógico, por ley, ¿verdad? Ahora, a mi comunidad hispana, no tengan miedo, apoyen al sheriff, apoyen a la policía. Juntos somos más fuertes, y si podemos escuchar las verdades de ellos, podemos deshacernos de las mentiras que estamos escuchando en las noticias. Por eso mucha de mi gente, mi comunidad hispana, ya no escucha las noticias, porque ya no sabemos si están diciendo la verdad o no. Pero quiero decirles que él está aquí diciendo la verdad, con su corazón abierto y con la certeza y la seguridad de lo que quiere es la protección para la comunidad hispana, para cualquier comunidad americana, asiática, europea, lo que sea. Una vez más, yo soy Fedra Álvarez, Ricardo Novelo, Richard Villadiego y Nicole Polanco no pudieron estar aquí, pero recuerde que Mi Casa es Tu Casa es un espacio libre para que ustedes vengan y den su testimonio, o si quieren hacer un reportaje de algo importante que esté pasando en la comunidad. Queremos mandarle muchas bendiciones y gracias. Hasta luego.
Bye.